Alexei Sale and his team will be wreaking more mirth and mayhem next week at the same time here on BBC Two.
Jam has been a staple of our English diet for over 800 years. As a nation, we eat more than 3.5 million tons of it every day. Everything from common or garden apple and strawberry to more exotic preserves like pawpaw and grenadilla confitures. But how good is it for us? In an age where we're increasingly warned about diet and sugar intake, is nature becoming sweet in tooth and claw? Michael Burke gets sticky fingers as he investigates the pros and cons of going for a jar in the first of a new series of Horizon, here on BBC Two on Monday night at 9:30.
And now a change to the advertised programme. A few moments with Lord William Rees-Mogg.
Well, as we finally put Comrade Celebrity Satirist away for another week, I can tell you with a certain degree of authority that there's more comedy over on BBC One shortly, as two humorous halves come together in the well-rounded shape of Messrs Smith and Jones.
What does it mean to be English? Starting on Tuesday, Think of England offers personal views of Englishness, English bodies.
Lying on a foreign beach, do you hold your body differently, would you?
English voices.
When you think of what most of this country sounds as though it's got in its mouth when it speaks, a plum seems to me a highly desirable alternative.
English homes.
When I think of England,
in the West Country, they're having a bit of a respite from the rain, but there is more on the way, and we can see what's happening if we have a look at the view from space. The earlier rain and cloud has now moved on into Ireland. You can just about make Southern Ireland sticking out from underneath the cloud, and then down over the Bay of Biscay there's some more dark, threatening cloud, and that's moving northwards. It's all down to this area of low pressure and its weather front, and during the next 24 to 48 hours, that low will start to track northwards. By tomorrow, the weather map looks like this, so not a great deal of change from today for tomorrow. And then on Saturday, we'll see that low tracking that much further northwards, bringing its weather fronts with it across the country. So that rather unsettled weather in the southwest will be edging northwards across the country. But back to tonight, more rain on the way, perhaps even some heavy rain, some thundery outbursts pushing up from the south, perhaps getting as far north as Northern Ireland. Further east, there's a bit of a dry slot from northwest Scotland through central parts of the country down into the southeast, and that mist and cloud that's been hanging around on the northeast coast is beginning to edge in now. I think we'll see some fog, certainly in northern parts of England, down through the Midlands, perhaps even the odd fog patch in the southeast, by the end of the night. It's going to be a fairly mild night in the south, no lower than 13, a little bit cooler in the north, 8 is probably nearer the mark. Now on to tomorrow, there'll still be some rain in the west, but turning more showery, perhaps edging a little bit further north up into the Western Isles. It'll be quite a pleasant day in many places though, certainly out of the wind it'll feel quite warm, but once again that cloud, mist and patchy drizzle will be hanging around on that northeast coast. Fairly pleasant day, but there'll be winds picking up all the time. As I said, you need to get out of the wind to make the best of the temperatures, and you can see here those winds picking up in the southwest, perhaps touching gale force at times on the more exposed headlands, and then by the evening that swirl of wind running around that low. Warm in the south, cooler in the north.
The BBC's troubleshooter industrialist Sir John Harvey-Jones is touring Eastern Europe and sends his special report on the state of industry in Hungary to BBC Two now.
If you care what you watch and what you read, get the Radio Times. From Robin Hood to Uncle Vanya, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio plays Chekhov. And from Alf Garnett to Ivan Fox, Warren Mitchell.
Had a chat to the Radio Times about the new show. Well, you've got to, haven't you? It's a good read.
Chic and shocking, the classic lines of the House of Elliot. And alive and kicking, Lenny Henry and Robbie Coltrane on their conflicting roles in this powerful Screen One drama. The Radio Times is packed with all-channel information and is so easy to use that even with the busiest of lifestyles, you're sure to catch the best in TV and radio. The Radio Times. It's essential reading.
Coming up in half an hour here on BBC One, a police request for your help to close opened police files in Crime Watch UK. First, Comedy Watch. with Smith and Jones.